Hello, how's everybody doing today? Today we're going to start doing actual tech in EliteTech channel by starting with a basic topic in computer programming, which is HTML files, and constructing them so that you'll have easy times making websites. This will just be a basic, about, a relatively short video. I can't give you a minute estimate, but I'll try to make it as short as possible and cut to the chase. Now to make a file, we want to use Sublime Text, or you could even use Notepad. But for simplicity reasons, not for simplicity reasons, but for make programming much more efficient and convenient and nice looking also, I like to use Sublime Text. There's also some other good ones like brackets or Notepad++, but I prefer Sublime Text. To create a new file, or at least in Windows, we'll do File, New, right? And we'll want to save it. We want to create a file type with as HTML. So all files on the bottom here, and we'll just name it default or index, because those file names are primarily for home pages. And when we learn more programming languages like CSS and JavaScript, we'll have to refer back to this. So for the time's sake, I'll just call it index.html. Yes, I do want to replace it. I might have accidentally done that before. So there we go. Here's our file, our first file. We want to start off our HTML file by having opening and closing HTML brackets. So I'm going to skip a few lines, quite a few here, and call it /HTML. What I like about Sublime Text is that you'll be greeted with a color if you do this right. So I'm going to hit save, and now our file is officially ready to be coded in HTML. That's it. In HTML, there are head and body tags. Head is, as the name implies, the beginning of it. So the beginning. Here you might put CSS tags. Well, don't get worried about that. It's just styling. It's a different programming languages. We'll get into it in the following video. But for now, since we're only dealing with HTML, let's put the title of this. The title. We'll call it cool, because that's what I have in my head. I am cool, quite cool. And the body tag, like I mentioned earlier, let's skip a few lines. Body. You see how it's opening and closing? That's very common in HTML. Some tags have an exception to it, like BR. I'll show you that later. In fact, why don't I show it right now? This is a paragraph tag, which is probably a really common tag when you code in HTML. It is, as the name implies, a paragraph. It could be stated using P, closing and opening P tags. So we'll have here, I like cool things, and cool is a cool word. I type quite slow at the moment. Let me bring this back up. So, how do we know how our HTML file looks like? Well, we just search for the file. Here it says index.html, so this is the file name, and we'll search index.html. You cannot see it at the moment because I've set it to 720p. Index.html. Here we go. I think you saw it. Here you go. I like cool things, and cool is a cool word. This matches what we put in the paragraph tags, and our title matches what we put here. So far, so good. I might have a following video to this, but for now, let's stick into the basics. If we want to emphasize or italicize a word, we could just simply use tags. To bolden words, I like to use a strong tag. We'll open it where we want it to be, and close it where we want it to be. So if I wanted to emphasize cool on this part of the sentence, this is all we do. Strong opening and closing tags surrounding this word. Why don't we refresh our page and see what happens? Ta-da! This changes to the way we want it to. You're doing great so far. Well, what else can we do at the moment? Well, we could also italicize words like this. and save this, and we will refresh. Awesome, it's been italicized. Now this is the basic thing I wanted you to get out of the video. This is extremely basic, but right now you can type stuff into the HTML file and get stuff out of the browser. It won't look nice, but at least you'll be able to get stuff done. And that was the point of this video. In the following HTML and CSS videos, I'll get into more detail. So see you then.